Um, DC Film Fridays was supposed to be yesterday, and unfortunately, I couldn't make it. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing this on the Saturday morning. Anyway, let's get it, man. Let me just open this thing. I hope you all saw Venom. Um, Venom: The Last Dance. Entertaining movie. Leaves a lot to be desired, but it's an old school entertaining film. So yeah. Uh, yeah. Let's do it, man. Talking about Venom. Tom Hardy. This thing. Tom Hardy he's talking about Tom Hardy played Bane obviously in the Dark Knight Rises, and he's talking about the new um Bane and Deathstroke film, which to me is a bad idea. Like, but hey, man, que sera sera. Anyway, let's get into it, man. Okay, why is the page not loading? I don't know what witchcraft this is because it was just here. Okay. Anyway, yeah, man. Let's do this. Venom: The Last Dance star Tom Hardy has revealed whether he would want to reprise the role of Bane in the upcoming Deathstroke Bane movie from DC Studios. One of the mystery projects that is being developed by DC Studios is the Bane and Deathstroke team-up movie, which will be written by Matthew Orton. While it is unclear if it is part of James Gunn's DC universe or not, this will bring the iconic Batman villains back to the big screen, as Bane hasn't been seen since 2012's The Dark Knight Rises, while Deathstroke only had a cameo in the DCEU. During a recent red carpet event for Venom 3, ET Online caught up with Hardy and got his brief thoughts on the untitled Bane Deathstroke movie that is in the works at DC Studios. When asked if he would be down to play Bane in this film, the former Dark Knight Rises star revealed that he'd be more than happy to, but he added that the following um, would have to happen. Uh, but he added the following about whether that will happen. What Tom Hardy's comments mean? Oh, what's going on? What's oh man, technical difficulties again. I don't know why this thing is freezing. You'll find the whole time. Oh, come on, man. Okay. I honestly don't know what's going on. While it's no surprise that Hardy would be open to playing Bane again, it makes perfect sense why he may not jump at the opportunity. If the Bane Deathstroke movie ends up being part of Gunn's DC universe, that franchise will mostly be serving as a reboot, including a new take on Batman, which will mean fresh interpretations on those villains too. The idea of having Hardy come back as a new iteration of Bane over a decade later would definitely be confusing to the general audience. Um, I don't think it has to be because can literally be like kind of a soft reboot on the character. And yeah, man, I don't think that has to be the case necessarily. It was also worth considering that Bane, this will it is also worth considering that this Bane will most likely and hopefully be cast with the right ethnicity. Yeah, obviously as this thing as both cinematic versions of the Batman baddie have yet to be accurately portrayed. Regardless if it is in Gunn's franchise or in Elseworlds movie, it is time for Bane to be depicted 100% correctly. both from his cultural heritage, but also with the Venom aspect. What? With the Venom aspect. What the hell is this guy talking about? However, there could always be other DC roles for Hardy to play, as he is an incredibly talented actor who has great form in comic book movies. Our take on this is their take on the Tom Hardy's Bane comments. As cool as it would be to see Hardy portray Bane, even if it wasn't in the Dark Knight universe. He makes a very solid point that it's time for someone else to get a chance to play the popular antagonist. Um, okay. It would likely only make more sense for Hardy to play the character again if it was part of Christopher Nolan's franchise, rather than a play rather than play a brand new version of Bane that has nothing to do with those films. Hopefully, more details on the Deathstroke and Bane film will emerge sooner rather than later. Whether it has anything to do with the DC Universe Chapter One Gods and Monsters, or if it's a standalone project. Um, yeah, yeah, that's it. I think dude is kind of tired of acting in all these comic book films now. Probably wants to be like a more serious actor. Because this is like what his fourth um with this thing. With Venom the Last Dance is probably like his fourth movie. And I'm sure dude is tired, bro. Yeah, he probably feels that it's time for a new challenge. Okay. Where were we? Okay, and here's another article from Slash Film. This thing. It says James Gunn tries to make new DC universe less confusing. James Gunn tried to make the new DC universe canon less confusing, and it didn't work, according to them. With the recent extremely disappointing release of Joker Folie à Deux, there's nothing standing between the old and new DC universe, which kicks off later this year when the animated Creature Commandos arrives on HBO Max. DC Studio co-heads James Gunn and Peter Safran's plans to kick into high gear next summer when Gunn's new Superman movie hits theaters. What are those plans exactly? An ever-growing list of movies and TV shows has already been confirmed, and put simply, the DC universe is getting a reboot. Unfortunately, there's still some confusion for the time being. The easiest thing would be for Warner Brothers and DC Studios to say we're starting over completely fresh. Nothing from the former DCEU counts, but everything going forward does. And yeah, that would actually be. Yeah, that's the way to go, man. Anyway, unfortunately, it's not so simple. Certain projects that were in the works before are going to be ushered in as part of the future. This has muddied the waters a bit for the average viewer, and even for people like me who are steeped in the stuff day in, day out. Recently, during New York Comic Con, Gunn, who's best known for directing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, tried to clear up some confusion about the DCU, the new DCU canon. Um, Here's what Gunn had to say about it during a DC focus panel. Um, Gunn has tried to explain this in the past as well. We'll be using some actors from the past. We're not using other actors from the past, but everything from that moment forward will be connected. Gunn said in early 2023. While revealing the initial DC Studio slate, Gunn explained that all DCEU projects will share a multiverse, including movies, TV shows, and even video games. Um, from Superman forward, it's a brave new world. But what about the elements of the past that will be forced to blend with the new? How is it? How is that all going to work? Gunn's new comments sadly don't paint a clearer picture. The new DC canon comes with a great many questions, and yeah, man, even this Creature Commandos, a lot of people were very unsure about it. Ultimately, it seems just about everything is being fully rebooted. The shared universe that started with Zack Snyder's Man of Steel in 2013 is no more. David Corenswet is our new Superman, and Ben Affleck will no longer be Batman. There will be a new Wonder Woman. Everything will share a multiverse, which is why Matt Reeves, the Batman universe, is technically part of the new DCU, even though Robert Pattinson's Batman, Bruce Wayne won't be in the same universe as Corin Swift's Superman. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to possible points of confusion for the casual viewer. Gunn's own Suicide Squad universe is coming along for the ride as well. But hey man, that's cool. Um, that was a very good movie which introduced a lot of characters which were not like obviously which weren't portrayed before, like Rat, especially it was Ratcatcher, Bloodsport, Weasel, Peacemaker, which I was like the breakthrough character. Um, what else? I can't remember, but anyway, let's carry on with thoughts. Gun's own Suicide Squad is coming along for the ride as well. Gunn directed 2021 Suicide Squad as well as several episodes of a spin-off series, Peacemaker. These projects was pretty firmly connected to the DCU. So how does Peacemaker season 2 fit in? How are these things that references to things that happened in the past suddenly canon? Uh, how does that work in practice? Maybe the movies and TV shows themselves will answer this. But for now, this approach raises far more questions than it answers. The questions clearly don't stop there. And is Viola Davis playing the same Amanda Waller from 2016 Suicide Squad, which is explicitly includes Ben Affleck's Batman? Or is she another Amanda Waller from elsewhere in the multiverse? Is that going to be a messy for new audiences? Isn't that supposed to be a fresh start? To be fair, Amanda Waller is kind of like a side character, and the person who portrayed it best is Viola Davis. So I don't really think that is confusing in any way. I don't think this guy is just waffling for my like. It's all going to be like Judi Dench's M in the James Bond film, where she played the character for both Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig's 007. Whatever the case for the moment, this all still feels a bit messy. With this December's Creature Commandos also featuring characters from the past such as Weasel, it's probably going to get messier before the picture gets more clear. That could be a problem that Gunn Staffron will need to contend with. The new DC universe needs to be simple for the average viewer. The fact of the matter is that the DC has been on one heck of a cold streak. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, The Flash, Blue Beetle all bombed last year, with Aquaman and The Lost Kingdom majorly disappointing. Joker Folio Doom may go down as one of the biggest comic book movie bombs ever when it's all said and done. And mercifully, Joker 2 isn't connected to DC Studios. So Gunn and Safran at least get to technically disown that dumpster fire. I'm calling these people, man. Yeah, I was, I don't know what Todd Phillips was doing there. Anyway, but it must be acknowledged that DC is in a bad spot with the general public. That being the case, I'm sympathetic to Warner Brothers having to make Batman Part 2 because the Batman was a huge success. That project can't be abandoned just because it would be easier for kind of start over with a new Batman. It's bad timing, yes, but the WB has to do what's best for the bottom line. They also have to accept that it makes things messy. Similarly, Gunn is now the co-head of the entire DC enterprise, and it's understandable that he wants to bring his Suicide Squad sandbox with him, but that makes it harder to clarify the nature of this reboot. Um, the first chapter of this DCU reboot, dubbed Gods and Monsters, is full of promise. Gunn crashed the Guardians trilogy. Innocent Superman feels like a home run. Like Superman is even out there. It's not even for test audience. It's not even out there. Superman is very much in the editing phase. A James Mangold Swamp Thing movie. Lesser known properties like The Authority getting the big screen treatment. A Booster Gold show coming to TV. I think Booster Gold should have been a film. And it would have been an excellent film. But if they do what they do with Peacemaker, I'll be cool. That's just the tip of the iceberg, but it all feels ripe with potential. None of that matters if audiences who have already disregarded DC lump these projects in with those that came before. If casual viewers see John Cena's Peacemaker or Davis as Amanda Waller, will they assume it's just more of the same? Maybe this sounds like nerdy nitpicking in some ways. Maybe it will all work out to itself and make sense once these projects start debuting. But for this but for this to work the way for this to work the way they need it to, it's important that it makes sense, and it's important that it's easy for audiences to understand. The era of comic book movies being automatic, essential viewing for the masses seems to be behind us. So these projects need to stand on their own 2 feet without requiring much, if any, homework. Here's to hoping God can crack the code. Yeah, man, that's actually a half decent article, but I don't think that necessarily a lot. Everything has to be um new because some of the characters worked. For example, I wouldn't have been angry if, for example, Aquaman stayed and he got like the same treatment in the films. I wouldn't, because like obviously the first one was a smash. It was a very great film. I loved it, and I was just disappointed that the sequel took so long to come out. And anyway, man, what's next? Okay, this is just other news in the DC film and television. This is more like DC television. Dune Messiah is reportedly starting production in 2025. Um, Greg Fraser is probably going to be turning for that after doing the Batman. And let's see, uh, the dynamic duo is reportedly eyeing a spring 2028 release. The film, made with puppetry animation by Swaybox, will have large action set pieces similar to the Bourne Ultimatum. Okay, if I understand, if it's, I thought this was gonna be live action, man. So I was actually disappointed, but this is actually good. This is actually quite good because yeah, animation. Obviously, they said they want to mix all of the animated video games and the live action characters so that they're portrayed by one person. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if they do that, man. Anyway, what else is coming up? Okay, the Creature Commandos trailers are coming out more and more, and they're ramping up the release. They're ramping up the advertising for the release, which is it comes in. It releases in what, December? Where's Creature Commandos? Yeah, it releases sometime in December, man. Uh, yeah. I'm not sure when in December. I used to know, but let me just scroll down here and I'll see something. Um, oh man, the Penguin remains number one in TV rankings for the fifth consecutive week in a row. That's good, man. And Penguin plays like very much like the Sopranos TV series in terms of its gangster portrayal. It's a very much a gangster series instead of like you know a Batman supervillain series. Yeah, yo man, Penguin is made more. It's had more views than Woman of the Hour, The Lincoln Lawyer, Tulsa King season 2, Love Is Blind, which is like everybody loves these Love Island, all these kind of reality romance series. But yeah, Nobody Wants This season 1, Outer Banks season 4, Bad Boys Ride or Die on Netflix, which is also number 9. So I see they just mixed the series and the movies. So this is just like for overall viewing statistics. Penguin is number 1, man, which is very cool. James Gunn and Peter Safran. Okay, James Gunn and Peter Safran are named co-chairs and CEO of DC Studios 2 years today. 2 year anniversary. Superman coming out next year. Let's hope something good comes of this, man. Let us see where we are. And Aaron Pierce apparently hitting the gym for Lanterns, the upcoming Lantern series. So yeah, I don't really see much more that I can talk about. Um, okay, it's probably gonna be the last article. So yeah, apparently this dude who's been portraying Nightwing in the video games, he says that he's ready for a new role in the DCU, and he wants to portray Nightwing in James Gunn's DCU. Screen On recently spoke with Christopher Sean, who took on the role of Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson in Gunn's DCU, and says he's trained his entire life for a role like this. I played Nightwing in DC's Gotham Knights, which is really awesome because I'm the first Asian American to portray Nightwing. I also played Toyman in Suicide Squad, Killed the Justice League. Suicide Squad, Killed the Justice League, and Engineer, Savant, Genius Boy. And it's nice because I think he's the only Japanese American mixed character, which is really nice. That I'd actually like to see that portrayed in live action. That would be very cool. Yeah, but jumping into live action, I would absolutely love that. I've trained my whole life in martial arts. Again, many of these people, they were my role models growing up. The way I trained, the martial arts I learned, so that I could portray them live action. So if there's ever an opportunity, I'm ready. And James Gunn pulled the trigger. That's Christopher Sean's message. Um, yeah, in Gotham Knights, Nightwing is joined by Batgirl, Robin, and Red Hood as they attempt to restore Gotham City to its prime following the aftermath of Batman's death. The game was inspired by Batman Gotham Knights comic series and was released for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC in 2022. The game received mixed reviews from critics who praised the co-op gameplay but felt overall it was a poor successor to the well-received Batman Arkham series. Yeah, what else? Teen Titans DCU film remains in development. While many of the DC Universe franchise upcoming, who's this? Oh, okay, I thought someone was coming in. Upcoming titles remain shrouded in mystery. James Gunn did tease the Teen Titans film is in the works this year, with Dick Grayson being both the original Robin and one of the founder members of the Teen Titans. It seems likely that the character's debut in Gunn's new universe may be inevitable. I'll just get some water. Uh, how many of the okay, we no substantial details surrounding the Teen Titans live action movie have been revealed at this time or other than that, Anne Nogueira is attached as a screenwriter. Nogueira has also worked on other upcoming films in Gunn's DC Universe franchise, Superman, Woman of Tomorrow. And obviously, you remember doing a thing for that. Um, Sorry, people. Nogueira has also worked on other. Yeah, I did a stream on this. I remember, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I can't remember who the director is of that film. Uh, let's check it out, man. Let's Google it. Anyway, yeah, I don't think I need to Craig Gillespie, yeah, I forgot. Craig Gillespie is the one who's going to be doing that. He obviously did Dumb Money earlier this year, which was a fantastic film. Um, a fantastic film about this thing, about the Wall Street cartel, as I call them, especially after seeing what they did to ordinary people who were just investing money and trying to short GameStop GameStop stocks. Yeah, and it backfired spectacularly, which is like a real life story. Um, yeah, it's scheduled for 2026 release following 2025 Superman film. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow has been described by Gunn as a big science fiction epic film, which will show the contrast of the jaded alien character of Kora Zor-El in comparison to a cousin Superman, who was raised on Earth in a loving family. So it is gonna be hardcore, man. And yeah, anyway, man, I think that's gonna be it for today. I might do a later stream, an IRL stream. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe. Suggest it, tell your girl, tell your mother, call your whole crew, tell each other. And yeah, thank you, man. I shall be seeing you.